I'm going to have a special guest from Football Gameplan's Emory Hunt, and I have my new co-host.
Hi, hello, welcome back to the 1983 National Football League Draft. And with the first round pick, Don Elway, Jim Kelly. Welcome back to the draft. And with the first round pick, Dan Marino, NFLDraft. And with the first round pick, Deion Sanders. I was kind of scared. I thought the show was going to take it. I would have so much money and I had it from all the way. Welcome back to the NFL Draft for the young players.
Okay, and welcome to NFLExperts. It's going to be a draft edition. I'm going to have a special guest from Football Gameplan's Emory for today's episode because Crest Sports will not be on, and it's going to be Sammy from Toptennz on YouTube. You want to check him out? Okay, Sammy, so how you been?
Good. I have some questions for both of you, Emory Hunt and Louie. My first one I have, which player in the first round of the NFL Draft will help get the team over not making the playoffs?
I think it's going to be Robert Griffin III from the Redskins. I really think that he's just he has great ability from the offense, and Shanahan loves to roll him out of the pocket. Emory, what do you think about that?
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Well, who do you think, which player will get the team, his team that was picked in the first round over the playoffs? I had Robert Griffin III.
Yes, I think so. You look at what Washington already has on the table. They were 5-11 last year, and they lost a lot of close games. You can squarely put that on the shoulders of the quarterback play. So you look at Robert Griffin III coming in and just bringing some stability and also ability to that position. I think the Redskins can get into the playoffs when you look at what they have in the division. They beat the Giants twice, so they match up well with the Giants, and they also match up well with the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles provide a little bit of a challenge because of the fact that they can spread the field and beat you with speed. So if you look at they can sweep the Giants and the Cowboys, they can still get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Okay. Next question, Emory. Which player do you think that is going to be a more impactful player in their first season? UNC's defensive end Quentin Copeland, who was drafted by the New York Jets, or defensive end of South Carolina, Melvin Ingram?
You have to go with Melvin Ingram. This is a guy that was a defensive player that always ended up with the ball in his hands, and that's what you want. When you think of that type of play, if you look at guys down the line of Julius Peppers, when he was at UNC, always had the football in his hand. You look at guys with Terrell Suggs, Dwight Freeney, always had the ball in their hands. So Ingram brings that type of ability to the position, especially when he has that type of athleticism to get after the quarterback and also make plays consistently and drop in coverage. He's going to be more of an impact than a five technique that the Jets picked up in Copeland.
Yeah, I like both a lot, but my worry about his Copeland is he does have some. Doesn't he? Wasn't he suspended from the NCAA a couple years ago?
Yeah, that whole issue they had down there in North Carolina that was a non-issue. I mean, if you knew what went on amongst and speaking as a former college athlete, you look at what went on college campuses around the country. That's nothing new. It's just the fact that he just got caught.
Okay, yeah, I really like. I agree. I like Copeland a lot. I think he's set up better to succeed with the Jets' defense. I think there's a great secondary behind him. But I think the Jets were really smart in this pick, getting Copeland. Okay, so Sammy, next question.
Which Alabama player will have the best career in your opinion?
That was drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
I have Trent Richardson, obviously the third round pick to the Cleveland Browns. Emory, what do you think on that?
Yeah, Cleveland. Trent Richardson would have the best career out of the Alabama players. I'm really not sold on Mark Barron. To me, he was no different than Tanner Jackson. Drake Kirkpatrick is he's not what you want as a guy that's a lockdown guy. I think he's more of a cover 2 type corner. And he'll get down to Hightower, going to be a good situation, but I think overall, by sheer production status, Richardson would have a better career out of the Alabama.
Yeah, I agree. I think I really like how Richardson, and I just think if the Browns can build around him, and with the Whedon, they signed Whedon too in the first round. But were you surprised at all that Courtney Upshaw didn't go in the first round? In my mock draft, I had him going to the Packers, but I wasn't really surprised at all. But I like Upshaw. Were you surprised at all?
A little bit of surprise because you think that this league is built on guys that can get after the quarterback, and you hope that the league realizes that when you're highly productive at the collegiate level, especially in a higher conference, you can be productive at the pro level. Shocking to see a guy like that fall because of what he was able to do at Alabama.
Okay, for the next question for you guys, who do you think was the most surprising first rounder who got picked?
I have Bruce Irving from West Virginia that was drafted by the Seattle Seahawks 15th overall. He seems smaller to me, and Adam Schefter said yesterday on ESPN that he's had some legal troubles. Hunt, who is your most surprising pick?
Most surprising pick, I would say, would have to be Wheaton. Brandon Wheaton, quarterback out of Cleveland. Not for the fact that he was taken in the first round. I graded him as a first-round quarterback in my quarterback rankings. It's the fact that he went to Cleveland. I thought Cleveland really could have taken a top receiver there. I know there's some receivers on the board, and they say they want it right, but I just don't believe that. They should have gone for Blackman first and then traded back up again and gotten Richardson, or taken two receivers in the first round and taken a guy like Lamar Miller, who provides a better value and better fit for the offense. So just shocking to see him go to Cleveland. Now you pretty much hitting reset on the QB spot because you got Copacoy is going to the bench or he's going to get traded. I think Wheaton was surprised to that team in the first round. I'm not even talking about Tannehill.
Yeah, I agree. Wheaton, he's really he's 29 years old too, so they're gonna have to start him now. They're gonna get at least 5 good years out of him, I predict. So Sammy, what's the next question you have for us?
Who do you think was the most surprising drop off of the first round? Who you were surprised to not see get picked?
I had Stephen Hill, receiver out of Georgia Tech. I had him going to the Houston Texans. He has great speed and explosiveness, and he runs the vertical route great. Emory, who was your drop-off first-rounder that didn't go in the first round?
I would have to say a guy like Cordy Glenn, a guy that can help out many different teams. I was surprised to see a guy like Kevin Zeitler go ahead of Cordy Glenn, although I had Zeitler in the first round in my mock draft. But it's the fact that a guy like Cordy Glenn with that size and that athleticism that can play 3 positions on the offensive line to fall, that's something that's shocking to me. But you have to expect that when you see a guy like David DeCastro fall all the way to Pittsburgh, that's going to push a guy like Cordy Glenn pretty much out of the first round.
Yeah, I agree. I like Glenn a lot. I had him going to Pittsburgh. He's really big, and hopefully, I'm sure he'll be one of the first picks in the second round. So, Sammy, isn't there a topic on Tannehill?
Yeah, do you think Tannehill was a reach for the Dolphins?
Emory, what do you think on that one?
No, absolutely he was a reach. You don't get a quarterback that lost all his big games in college, not because of the defense, but in part of his own turnovers at the end of the game. And you don't take a quarterback that's thrown 15 interceptions. Anytime a quarterback coming out of college has double-digit interceptions, that should raise a red flag. Matt Ryan had double-digit interceptions coming out of college. You want guys that don't throw interceptions, and you can work with that. But Tannehill, again, if you wanted to take him in the third round, to pair him up with his former college coach, that's fine. But at the 8th pick, you look for impact, and you pick a guy that won't play this year, that's not good value.
Yeah, I agree. I think I definitely was a reach as well. I think maybe he wouldn't have even been in the talks as a top first-round pick if Matt Barkley from USC came into the draft. And I just think, I think it was a reach too. I think they felt pressured by the fans too to get them, since they lost in the Manning sweepstakes and they didn't get Matt Flynn. So I kind of but there was some pressure in that situation as well. Next question, Emory. Fletcher Cox or Dontari Poe, both were picked at 11 and 12. Dontari Poe was selected by the Kansas City Chiefs, and Fletcher Cox was picked from the Philadelphia Eagles. Which one do you think them is going to work out better for their team?
Fletcher Cox, because he's going to be in a better situation. He's a better player than Poe. Poe is another guy similar to Stephen Hill that became popular after the combine. That's the worst thing that could happen, because that means you haven't done anything on film during the course of the actual football season. So a guy like Fletcher Cox, although he's not as talented as his draft status is, he's a lot better than Poe, and I think he's put into a situation where he's going to do fine out there in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I agree. I like Fletcher Cox mainly too because I'm an Eagles fan. But I like Poe too. I think he's got some good run-stopping ability. He's from a small school too, so I think. But I like to see him. I'm glad he got picked by the Chiefs. So now there's another comparison, Stephon Gilmore or Drake Kirkpatrick. Gilmore got picked 10th to the Buffalo Bills, and Kirkpatrick got picked by the Cincinnati Bengals. Which one of those guys do you like better, and who do you think will work better out for their teams?
Well, I've always been on the Stephon Gilmore bandwagon since his freshman year. And that's saying something because it doesn't take me long to spot a guy that can play at the pro level. When I look at him as a freshman on the biggest stage in the SEC against North Carolina State, against a guy like Russell Wilson, being able to match up with those wide receivers, those big physical wide receivers they had at the time at NC State, as a true freshman to step on that field and hold his own and come away with the interception and also make plays in the run game, that guy has tremendous ability, and that's why it doesn't surprise me to see him going to 10th with the 10th pick. Drake Kirkpatrick is a product of the media hype and also the Nick Saban hype. You have to go back and find a cornerback or a secondary player that was coached under Nick Saban that was a legitimate success in the league. I think the only player that has some success is Corey Webster.
Yeah, I like both a lot here. I like Stephen Gilmore. He is undersized, though, from South Carolina. But I think the Bills they needed a corner here, and I think they jumped on it. It was a good pick, and it really helped out their secondary, which corner-wise has been weak. Okay, so Sammy, next question.
Which trade were you most shocked with? Because I know there were definitely a lot of them in the first round in the draft.
The fact that the Rams kept trading back and back and back.
Yeah.
When you're at 6, if you're in the top 10, you have a chance to get an impact player. That means you wasn't that good last year, and the fact that you trade out of the top 10 and just get a defensive tackle prospect, that's the one that shocked me the most.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys, I agree, though, the Rams, they shouldn't have moved as back far as they did, and I was surprised that they picked Brockers. Really, their line, Bradford got eaten alive last year. I mean, their line was just a mess last year, and I was really surprised they didn't go offensive line there. But the most surprising to me was the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't know any rumors about them trying to make a deal, and I was even surprised more with the pick. Since they signed Brandon Carr from the Kansas City Chiefs, I thought they were going to go someone like Mark Barron, the safety from Alabama. I'm sure. People knew, thought if the Cowboys did that they were going to get Claiborne, but I was actually really surprised with that. Okay, so Sammy, last question.
Who do you think will work better with their teams, Luck or RG3?
Me, Robert Griffin III. I've always been more of a mobile quarterback kind of guy. Luck really. He's got a better big time receiver there. But I just like Robert Griffin's mobility better. Emory, what about you?
I think both guys will do fine. Right now, instantly, you got to like Robert Griffin because he has better weapons around him. But both guys are equally as good. You have to look at the fact that the Colts are going to struggle mightily. One, because they don't have all the weapons that they have, the offensive line or the other receiver opposite of Reggie Wayne or the tight end. But more importantly, because of the defense. They're moving to the 3-4. That defense will get shredded this year because they don't have the pieces. They're already looking to move Freeney. So I think RG3 is going to have instant impact, although Andrew Luck will have impact as well. He's going to be both quarterbacks going to be equally as good.
Okay, yeah. Emory, thanks for joining us here on NFL Experts. Make sure to check out Emory's YouTube page at Football Gameplan and on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter. Emory, it was nice talking with you. And before you go, do you watch the draft on NFL Network or ESPN?
I'm an NFL Network guy. I can't deal with ESPN. NFL Network has it down pat. They have it the right way. ESPN is a little bit too. It used to be fun, but now you got to go NFL Network. More football guys on NFL Network.
Okay, hey, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate that, guys.
Okay, so now it's just going to be me and you, Sammy. Sammy, you got any more questions?
Yeah, I got another one for you, Lou. Who do you think will go first in the second round of the NFL Draft?
First in the second round is going to be a very interesting pick. The St. Louis